All right. Hey, what's up, everybody out there in the Twitcherverse? Welcome back to another episode of Thank You for Coming. I am your host, Mike Carr, coming at you live on 2MB Studios, which is a delightful place to be. If this is your first time tuning into 2MB Studios, welcome. If you're a seasoned vet who's been watching shows for the better part of 2020, welcome back. We're glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Like I said, I'm your host, Mike Carr, and the way this show works, if you're joining us for the first time, we have two improvisers who are in our green room. They've never met before. They've never played together. They've never been in the same. They might have been at the same festival, but they were never at the same time. They're at the same time. They've never met, and they're going to join us on the virtual stage, meet for the first time. Then they're going to play a scene together. Literally, thank you for coming is how every scene starts. So it's very funny. Hello, Julie Pooley. Hello. Yeah, if you're here, give us a shout out in the chat. Let us know you're watching. We're going to be coming to you a couple of times because we definitely want to keep you engaged. We're going to need some suggestions for some scenes coming up in a little while. So start thinking about places where you'd like to see an improv scene happen. Locations would be great, and you can throw those in the chat whenever you want. And also, feel free to chat at the performers, chat at myself, ask us questions. Not during the scene, but in between scenes, you can ask them questions because we want to keep you engaged. Before I bring them out, I want to tell you a little bit about something called 3weeks.courses. It is a great program started by some wonderful improv teachers that I know. I knew them as improv teachers, but there's so much more than that. 3weeks.courses, it's the perfect place if you want to learn something new, but don't have the time to go through an 8 to 10 to 12 week course to learn it in depth. You just want to get a taste. Finances is one of the classes that they teach. They teach a class on understanding what Supreme Court rulings, how to read a Supreme Court ruling and understand what it means. I took a class on playwriting and script analysis. It's a great way to wet your beak, as they say, in learning different things. So check out 3weeks.courses. Tell them that 2MB Studio sent you, and start to learn something new because it's 2021. It's a new year. Time for a new you. That's all I got to say before I bring out my guest improvisers. So here they come, one at a time. First, I'm going to bring out the one who is nearest to me right now. That is, by nearest to me, I mean he is in Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas is in the Central Time Zone. I'm in the Eastern Time Zone. He's one of the, I believe, owner and founder of the Hideout. I don't know if he's a founder of the Hideout Theater, but he's definitely an owner and one of the funniest, talented improvisers I've ever seen. Please welcome Roy Janik.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Roy. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. I had no idea who was going to be the one that was nearest to you, which tells you how little I know about my scene partner.
Exactly. This is super exciting. I said you were a founder and owner of Hideout. That's correct, right?
Untrue. You
a liar.
You were halfway there. I am one of the owners and not one of the founders. It was founded in '99. I became an owner in 2009. So,
all right. Yes, I knew you were an owner. And I thought you were a founder, and I just lied to my audience. So that's great.
That's right. We have been the current management team have been owners now longer than the original founder was an owner. So that's something.
Yeah, that means something. I'm being called out by the audience as a liar. That's good. They're keeping me honest. Now, the next improviser who's going to be joining you, Roy, your scene partner for tonight, is the farthest away from me because he is in San Francisco, California, all the way in the Pacific time zone. Please give it up for Andy Sarouhan.
Hello. Hey, was it bread that was being made in that graphic?
Yes, it is bread being made in that graphic.
Well, there goes my question.
I feel like I could have watched that for hours.
Isn't it mesmerizing? It's a mesmerizing video.
Yes. Roy, it's super nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, man.
If you're in San Francisco, I assume you'll be moving to Austin sometime in the next few months.
Oh, you know what? Actually, and so Mike, you're a double liar, actually. So I already joined the San Francisco Exodus, and I went to Sacramento. So I'm one of the San Francisco refugees.
So basically, what I'm learning is I don't do nearly enough research on my people.
Mike, while we're admitting things, my last name is pronounced Janik, not Janik. So.
Oh, and actually, mine's pronounced Sarouhan.
Yeah.
Andy, I think we're going to get along just fine.
You guys are hitting it off so well. All you need is a spoil to ruin your night. Triple lies. All right. Rachel, Raj Andelman in the chat, she's pointing out that it's Too Much Bread Studios. 2MB stands for too much bread.
Got it.
So
Not megabyte.
Not megabyte.
Yeah.
It's not fake news. Don't start that, Sam. Don't you start that. All right. So Roy and Andy, you've already hit it off. You're already super best friends. I can already see it happening.
Besties.
But we're gonna get to know each other a little bit more. So I got a list of just some icebreaker questions so that we can get to know each other a little better. So I'm gonna ask you each. I'm gonna ask you each 2 different icebreaker questions. And then you're going to ask each other an icebreaker question. So we get to know you. So I'm going to start with Roy. The first icebreaker question I have for you is, Roy, if you were a professional wrestler, what would your entrance song be when you came down the aisle?
I have a very specific reason for this because it cracks me up to no end. I think you may have been were you at the Valentine Massacre competition in Vancouver when at the same year I was, or am I making that up? Okay.
You're not lying. I was there.
We had a team. We had a theater sports team there, and every time we came out, we came out to a children's rendition of the Old Gray Mare because it was like the least pumped up, exciting thing you could enter to. And if I was a professional wrestler, I would keep that tradition alive and just march out to the Old Gray Mare. She ain't what she used to be.
Oh my God!
I don't think my career would be long.
I don't know. I think that would get over huge. I think fans would love it. All right. Andy, I'm going to ask you a different question.
Cool.
All right. So, Andy, if you are going to go out and sing karaoke, it's still a song question. You're singing karaoke.
Yeah.
What is your go-to I have to sing karaoke song? And give us a little why. Give us a little bit of the why.
Well, okay. So the why is like I don't think I'm a terrible singer, but I'm not karaoke level. Like you know.
Have you seen karaoke?
But I always find the epic mistake that people do in karaoke is they try to do hip hop, because people always discover in that moment that rapping is actually really hard, and so my go-to song is actually Digital Underground Humpty Hump.
All right.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool. The Humpty Dance, a great go-to. Yes. All right. Chat, I'm going to throw something out to you because we got some great people. Oh, you're in good shape. You're Cappy Fear.
Oh,
that's actually our producer, Matt. That's our producer, Matt.
You.
Also, and I'm not going to lie. I've done the Humpty Dance myself as well.
There we go.
My favorite in that song, there's that line, "You're fat, look at me, I'm skinny. It never stopped me from getting busy." I always change it to "You're fat, I'm also fat." Just because I want to be honest about the song. All right, so chat, I'm going to ask them another question, and they're going to ask a question. I would love to get a chat question. So if you have a Matt does the same bit. We're the same person. I love it. So if you are chat, you're going to come up with an icebreaker question that we're going to ask. So now there's a would you rather. I found these if you could icebreaker questions. So Roy, back to you.
Okay.
If you could choose any person from history to be your imaginary friend, who would it be and why?
Oh my gosh. Let's think about this. No, it would. I'm going to punt a little bit and just say it has to be like a dinosaur. I think maybe because I'm between pets right now and I really want a dog. So I'm just imagining like a larger, friendly version of a dog that's a dinosaur that kind of hangs out near me and I can like make side eye with it when something embarrassing happens, you know?
Nice. Something like dinosaurs, dino side eye.
That's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. All right. Andy, if you had the power of teleportation now, where would you go and why?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. I think I'd go back. I went to Nepal like 10 years ago. I think I'd go back to Nepal just for a little quick taste, little Kathmandu taste, maybe like pop up, do a little Himalaya time, and then pop back down before it gets cold.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just a little Himalaya time. Pop in.
Just a little Himalaya time. Yeah.
Pop out. Nice. There's one question that came in, and it's from Raj Andelman, and it's an uncomfortable question, and I love it. What's a memorable moment of being physically uncomfortable?
Oh, good. It's a great one. I have an answer for that.
All right.
My worst improv injury was accidentally leaping into a wall when I tagged someone out and got caught up in the moment. And normally I'm really careful with myself on stage and I try not to be reckless. I don't know what happened, but I met, like, not to go into too much gruesome detail, but this, like, one of these bones just kind of like bent. And when it sprung back, it didn't spring back in the exact same position. And now my shoulder is jacked up forever from an improv injury. Anyway, yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Wow.
Yeah. Raj, you asked, Rachel. You asked and answered. There it is. Andy, do you have a memorable moment of being physically uncomfortable?
The thing that's coming up is I feel like I'm going to regret talking about, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I don't even know if it's physically just uncomfortable, but all right. So here we go. So there was one time in college where the improv team I was on, we were going to audition people. And so we had all the people in a place, and I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. And I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm peeing. And I am, unbeknownst to me, double streaming onto my pants. So I have now piss down the side of my leg, my pants. Roy, aren't you so glad you met me already? So,
yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Oh, man.
So then, and so it was honestly one of those moments where I was like, I'm not sure what to do. So I just basically walked outside and I was like, I just pissed my pants. So let's start the auditions. And we went forward. And the person who was the most sympathetic made the team.
Yes, it is a thing. Then we're going to leave it there.
Yeah.
That's not this show's job, is to explain double streaming.
Nope. You can Google that.
If you want, you find out the answer to that.
Please don't.
Don't Google it. Make sure Safe Search is on. All right. So now, Andy, do you have a question for Roy?
Yeah. Actually, I'm stealing this from a person at Bats who just told it to me.
Oh, no.
Roy, so like, because I can see you've got like lots of stuff behind you. Like, is there any object in the immediate vicinity that you can tell a quick story about?
Oh, yeah. Where did I put it? It's right here. So before I discovered improv, I got randomly into trying to learn to play the concertina, which is like an accordion but smaller, and is a often used in Irish traditional music, and it's kind of thing you'd expect a pirate to be playing.
Yeah.
I got really into it. I went to several like camps, like taught by one of the best concertina players in the world, and I was a mediocre amateur. But then I got into improv, and I haven't played it for a very long time. But that concertina I just showed you was custom made for me, and it's number 9 from this particular maker, and it's redwood burl ends. It's like so fancy, and it doesn't deserve to be locked up in its case. But now that sea shanties are back, I've picked it up again, and I'm slowly remembering how to play it.
So this is like a thing, right? They're like in again.
Yeah, they are. They're back.
Like they're on TikTok. Like people are playing them on TikTok also.
Yeah.
This is actually funny, Roy. My wife is Julie Pooley, and she also has a concertina in our house. I'd never seen one until like we got together, and now it's just what a beaubeautiful moment. We all have concertinas.
They're gorgeous instruments, and if they're well made, they get better with age, and the more you play them. And I'm not doing my part for the legacy of this instrument. I need to play the reeds in, basically, and I have not done that.
Oh man, if only there had been like a long period of time where we were all stuck inside, where we could have practiced something.
Fortunately, we have another 6 to 8 months of that, Mike. So maybe I will.
Yeah, we still have time. I keep forgetting it's not over, people. It's not over. All right, Roy, do you have a question for Andy?
I do, Andy, and this is super inside baseball, y'all. But I found out the one thing I know about Andy before this meeting is that we have a friend in common, Margaret Hunsicker. you're a coworker of Margaret's, and I've known Margaret for years, and she was my roommate for a while. So I want to know your favorite thing about Margaret so far.
So my interactions with her have been somewhat limited, but what I did have the pleasure of doing was when she was auditioning for the company, because it's largely an acting based job. So you actually have to audition for it. I got to do her callback. And I know I have a feeling both of you have experienced this, where you get to basically improvise some scenes, and these are pretty structured scenes, but I was able to improvise some scenes with her, and it's just one of those people where you go like, oh wow, you're very talented. And it was just there's certain people, like actually Mike, I'm gonna kiss your ass too. When you auditioned too, I was like, wow, this guy's super talented. So yeah, it's just you get those sort of nice feelings towards somebody where you're like, you're very easy to work with.
Oh no, it's true. One of the first real interactions I had with Margaret was her auditioning for a show at my theater. And I had the same moment. I was like, well, she understands everything about this show somehow. Andy, it's funny. You may have actually read my letter of recommendation for Margaret whenever she applied to be part of the company. So,
I love that.
There we go.
Look at the world. So small and so beautiful. Oh, good. I love this new portion of the show that we're asking each other silly, dumb questions, and it leads to such beautiful moments. So we're going to dive into the scene now. So Roy and Andy are going to do a scene together. I need a location. So in the Twitch chat, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching, we'll see it here. Give us a location where their scene can be. When they come back on the frame, back in the screen, their scene's going to be in that location. But they have to start the scene with the line, "Thank you for coming." One of them will say that line, and then we'll just watch a wonderful scene between these two improvisers. Okay, we got lots of good suggestions. I'm going to go with the first one I saw, on a sailboat. So the suggestion is on a sailboat. So Roy, Andy, I'm going to pop you guys into the green room now so you can relax before your scene. They're going to be on a sailboat. Thank you for.
Hey, Roger, thanks for coming. Thank you for coming.
Sure, just throw the ladder down.
Yep, just a moment. If you don't want to scramble up on your own, I understand. You got a hold of it there?
I've got it.
You know the first rule, right? Always keep one point of contact at least. No, 2 points of contact. 2 points of contact on the ladder. Now that I'm saying it out loud, that's what I remember. Take your time.
Right, go ahead. Give me a hand now. Give me a hand. There we are. I
need a moment, Roger.
Just a moment. It's not as easy as it used to be.
Oh, I understand that. I don't mean to talk down to you, someone with all of your experience. You looked a little nervous before the attempt, and I wanted to make sure that we were on the same page.
Trevor, it's a bit of a storm that we're in here now, isn't it? You're very lucky that I actually even heard your signal at all. You're quite a long way away from the shore at this point, and rowing out here was not easy.
Well, it's much appreciated.
Sure.
We're just we're dead in the water, and any assistance you could give us would be appreciated.
Well, Trevor, you have quite a lot of equipment on deck again. And this looks to be rather specific fishing equipment that I'm seeing here, Trevor.
Well, you like to be prepared for any contingency. The harpoon, for instance, is mainly used for defense. Well, not used. Haven't needed it yet. Thank the heavens. But should the need arise, could be used for defense. Is what I'm telling you, Roger.
Trevor.
Roger?
I've known you since you were a child.
Mm-hmm. How's Mrs. Henderson?
Mrs. Henderson is just fine. Mrs. Henderson is sitting at our dinner table right now in the lighthouse waiting for me.
Yep. You know what I've never said before, Roger, is that I admire that in this day and age, someone still keeps a lighthouse going. Not just because of the help it gives to ships, but metaphorically, that it keeps a light shining in the darkness. And
Trevor
touches my soul is what I'm.
Trevor, are you out here whaling again?
What? No. How could look? This is a sailboat, and it's a crew of one. How could I be whaling? I gave up that search a long time ago, Roger. And whaling's illegal. That's the first thing I should have led with. Whaling is not allowed by law, and if I was still chasing Gigantor, I would have stopped when the law was passed some 30 years ago. Whaling. What a thing.
The only reason that you're whaling alone, Trevor, is because your crew won't come on this ship with you anymore. You and I both know that.
Oh, who needs them when you've got as much experience as you and I have, when you're as close to death as you and I are? Why, they just get in the way, right? I'm just out here sightseeing. This is I like to, some people watch Price is Right. I like to go for a sail. Who doesn't?
You got that desperate look in your eye, Trevor.
Roger, you and I both know that I'm not long for this world. Look, some people have a bucket list. I don't need a bucket. I just need a little bag to keep the one thing that I need to do before I die in that bag. And if it happens to go against the laws of man, then who is the law to stop me? Who are you to stop me?
Look, I heard the news about, the tests and, the cancer. I heard about it all, and I am very sorry. It's awful news.
It just means that it's a sharpening. It's a tool that sharpens the blade of my life. It just means that my goal and my focus has been winnowed down to a fine point. I sold the Winnebago.
I heard.
The truth be told, I sold pretty much everything except this boat.
Then this is going to be it. Your last test of humanity, trying to catch this fabled whale of yours that's always eluded you.
I'm not trying to catch it, Roger.
What do you mean?
A harpoon doesn't have a net attached to it. I aim to kill it. When I was a young lad of 16, on my first voyage, I first spotted Gigantor. Huge, more mountain than beast. It rose up from the depths. The ship that was astern of us stood no chance, cracked in two and fell beneath the billowy ocean waves. And I knew right then both fear, loathing, but something more. Love, respect, awe.
I'll help you do it then.
I had a feeling, Roger. I saw it in your eyes.
I always felt badly for you. I knew how your father was. I knew how he treated you.
He was a sailor through and through, just like me. But a father, never. He had not an ounce of love, not for man or beast. Roger, I meant what I said about the lighthouse. There have been nights in my dark despair when I wished that the world would just crumble around me. And staring out upon the sea, I'd see the beacon shining, calling, urging me forward, saying, not yet, not yet. Roger, we've been adversaries more than we've been friends. But much like that whale, you are a fixed point in my life. It's only fitting that you be here with me now on the night of my triumph or my failure.
I'm feeling a triumph. A man like you were meant for the sea, and you were meant for great things like Gigantor. I'll tell you this. As God is my witness, we'll drag that corpse in with us tonight. Whether this ship is battered by the storm and by that giant itself, we'll bring her in.
Roger, I think I see it. I think I see him. Off there in the distance. Is it
My God.
cloud? Is it a fog? An island? Another boat?
He's bigger than I ever imagined. Trevor, turn this ship port. Let's go for this. I'm arming the harpoon.
On the harpoon! My old frail hands don't move as steadfastly as once they did, Roger.
Oh, this feels good. This feels very good. You know, Mrs. Henderson, she was the one who forced me to man that lighthouse. Oh, there were so many years I begged her. I said, I want to go back out to the sea. And she said, no, you're not going back out there. I'm not losing you to those dreadful waves. And I said to her, Marion, a man like me was meant for the sea. But she kept me back. But not tonight, Trevor.
No,
tonight we bring the sea down with us.
Yes. We were not meant to be in walls. We were meant to be out on the ocean.
Oh, there she is. Come this way, pretty whale. Come this way. My God.
It's beautiful and huge. It's terrible, unblinking eye.
Trevor, we're in range. This should be your shot, not mine.
Roger, you're part of my crew. Take the shot on my mark. 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Oh, I think we've hit him. Oh, look at the blood in the water. Look at the seagulls. They've already come. They can smell it. Oh, wait.
The kickback from Gigantor's thrashing knocked over the mainsail, and it's laying on top of me.
Trevor, stay there. I'll try to lift it.
No! Don't you dare, Roger!
Are you insane? You'll die out here.
This is how I want to go. Promise me one thing.
What?
If Gigantor washes ashore, you'll make the finest perfume from his ambergris.
A whale like that must be chock full of ambergris, for there is the bile of hatred, the bile of myth. I swear it to you, Trevor. This world will be perfumed by your great deed and demise. I'll miss you, old friend. deed is done.
We did it!
Yeah. Oh.
I said everything I know about whales and chips in that scene.
I'm really glad you got ambergris in there. I was impressed by that. Fantastic job.
I only know of ambergris from Bob's Burgers. There's like a Bob's Burgers episode where they found a chunk of it. And they're trying to sell it.
I think I heard about it first in, was it Jitterbug Perfume, that Tom Robbins book? But yeah, it's like, it's apparently worth a fortune. And I guess a while back, I want to say on the West Coast, a big chunk of it washed up on shore, and some dude found it, and he was like, "What's this?" And he was like rich after that.
Yeah, that was the whole premise of the Bob's Burger episode. They're like,
yes,
it's a giant ball of it, and they're like, this is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Oh, so disgusting. I don't condone whaling, y'all. I should say that out loud.
I feel like none of us do. Except there's one guy in the chat who's like, the whale got away at the end. That's bullshit.
I think he was thrashing. Who knows? It's up to you whether he got away. You know how hard it is to draw a whale without looking at it?
It was an impressive drawing of a whale.
Yes.
As I was watching, I could hear the paper rustling. I'm like, I think.
Yeah, the microphone's too good. I shouldn't point it at the paper.
No, it's good. I was like, I'm gonna wait. The payoff's gonna be beautiful, and it was. The drawn whale. It was perfect. I think my question following that scene is, why didn't Melville include that in Moby Dick? Because that feels like that could have been a part of Ahab's journey.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was definitely my main source of inspiration, despite having never read it. But Moby Dick is in enough of popular culture that I think we all get the basic gist.
It really needed to be a buddy comedy. That's really what Moby Dick needed to be.
Yeah, it really did. Roy, you got 2 points for steering in the correct direction.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, even the camera is like the image is flipped for me, so it was 100% a guess. But thank you.
Oh god, that was delightful. Yeah, I think the beauty at the end of the morality of it, because I know, Roy, you've been on a Star Trek binge.
I have been.
Have you made it to the movies yet?
No, I'm gonna watch. I've watched the Next Generation movies, but I'm watching original series, and I'm gonna finish original series and then watch all the original series movies. But I know there's whales involved. I saw them when I was a kid.
Yeah, Star Trek 4. Big whales, big whale in Star Trek 4.
There were 2 whales on the Enterprise, right? Am I right about that? Oh, I'm spoiling things. La la la.
No, I have seen the movies. It's okay. Go ahead and spoil a movie that's 50 years old.
I'm going to get super Star Trek nerdy on you, Andy. The whales were never on the Enterprise. They were actually on a Klingon ship. Yep, Matt's with me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my Star Trek nerd is like, oh, no, it was actually on the ship that was christened the HMS Bounty.
But now that you bring it up, Star Trek may have been an influence on that scene for me, because I just watched an episode where Kirk encounters a sparkling sentient dust cloud that's killing his crew, and he becomes and he remembers it from his childhood, and he becomes obsessed with killing it, and he even delays getting a vaccine to a planet that needs it because they're having a pandemic, to kill this dust cloud, and he turns out he was right. So yeah.
It killed his brother. Did it kill his brother or someone in his family?
It did. Oh wait, no. His brother was in a different episode. Died of some weird disease. It wasn't who did? Oh, he killed somebody. Yeah, you're right. He killed family.
It was I remember that episode.
Trekkie talk.
When we first started that scene, I got completely the wrong hit off you, Andy. I thought you were coming up. I thought you were like a little kid on his first day on the ship, and then I was like, no, wait, it's the opposite.
I was thinking to myself, I was like, this might be a lot for someone to imagine through Zoom. That I was like, I need to clear this up really quickly. Where I am right now.
I love that you stuck with what you were inspired to do, and that we just made it work. Yeah,
totally.
Added some depth to my character by being like, I'm just kind of like the king of my sailboat, and I'm like talking down to somebody who has just as much experience as I do, you know?
Yeah.
Literally coming to rescue me because I lit a signal flare.
Oh God. Oh, so fun, guys. Thank you so much for playing that scene. So now the three of us are going to do a scene together. We don't have to say thank you for coming when the scene starts. It's going to be the same idea, just three people in one place. There were several suggestions earlier, so I'm going to grab one of those. There's two that jumped out to me. One is an orchestra pit, or let me find the other one that jumped out, or the Wonka factory. Either one of those jumped out to me delightfully. So I will see what do you gentlemen have a preference?
I think I'd go orchestra pit.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so the three of us are gonna go into an orchestra pit and do a scene.
I'm nervous. You ever get nervous for a concert?
Absolutely. I'm always nervous. I think that it's an indicator that you care. I mean, that's the way I always see it, James.
Not me.
No one expected you to be nervous.
Yeah, I mean, you're lead soloist. Of course you're not nervous.
I used to get nervous, though.
Yeah? Giles, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
There's a rumor going around the pit that you have a knighthood, but you don't like to talk about it. It seems silly.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. So what do you want to know? If it's true?
That's the first of many questions. If the answer is yes, then I have about 100 follow-ups.
Yes, I am knighted.
Wow.
Her Majesty, the Queen of England, knighted me after she saw a performance that we did of a Debussy classic in 1987.
So she just impromptu knighted you, like on the spot?
Yeah. You think the Queen? Yeah, some of them were planned, but she was so moved by my oboe that she removed her sword from her sheath.
She just carried
it. At the time, I don't know if she still does. I only met her that one time. She called me forth, and she said, "Come forth," and I did. She knighted.
Like in the middle of the concert, did she call you forth, or did you wait till it was over, or what?
She waited till it was over. She respects the art, but she waited till it was over.
It'd be weird if the Queen of England, just advanced on the orchestra pit in the middle of the concert wielding a sword.
If she did, though, we'd have to honor it because we were in her backyard,
Like behind Buckingham Palace, or you mean just England?
England. It was just England.
Yeah. Of course. Oh. If you don't mind me asking, what were you playing? Claire de Lune, or something? A B-side, or stupid question?
Well, no, it's a beautiful question. If I recall correctly, it wasn't Claire de Lune. That one's too well known. It was something far less known. Such a rare piece of music that I believe it was Nocturnes, perhaps?
Well, that would do it. If you can pull off nocturnes with the oboe solo, then that would impress anyone.
Sure.
So is that when you stopped being nervous?
No.
Oh.
My nerves got big after that. I had to try to live up to the title of Sir. They started putting it on all the programs. They started sending me to do media events. To be honest, it almost shook me to my core.
Yeah, I could see where that would be hard. I mean, even when I moved up to second seat, I started to feel like, oh, now I've got something to lose, right?
Yeah.
I don't have anything to lose.
That's what you think, don't you, kid?
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, I'm just a triangle player, and I'm the second alternate, so.
What would happen if the first alternate and the triangle player both didn't make the concert tonight?
Then I guess I would play the triangle. Oh, they're not here yet.
The triangle's oft forgot, treated like a joke instrument, but it's not. It's a part of our orchestra. We need it.
Absolutely. I can play other things too, but that's just what I was hired for. I can play the kettle drum. I can play timpani in the pinch. And I'm learning to play multi-keyed instruments, such as the xylophone.
What drew you to triangle? Because I don't see you as just someone who's playing the triangle.
My Catholic upbringing, mostly. The triangle reminded me of the Trinity. If you're not familiar, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And that way, it was also a way of convincing my parents that it was all right to be a musician, because I kind of sold it to them as religious study. But there is some truth to that. There's a purity to the triangle. There's a simplicity. There's a kind of oneness. And when you strike it just right, you're not drawing attention to yourself, but everything around you becomes elevated. I like to think that in my life. Go ahead.
I don't think I've ever heard you speak this passionately about anything.
I probably haven't said more than 5 words to you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's silly. You're right. It's just a dumb piece of bent metal.
It's not silly. It's not. Did you think the Cowboys thought the triangle silly when it called them to dinner?
No, sir.
Please don't call me sir. You know I don't like that.
Sorry. Just now that I know you're an actual knight, it's hard to get out of my head.
It was hard to get out of my head for years.
Well, what did it?
I remembered who I was before I was a knight. I was just a guy who loved playing the oboe. And I realized I'm doing that every night. I do that. I do what I love. I have my passion. I stopped worrying about being what I was supposed to be, a knight who's carries the weight of the throne, that if for whatever reason England were thrust back into the throes of war, I'd have to go fight, even though I'm not English. If they go to war, all knights are called up to protect the queen.
That seems like a bad idea.
That's
I
a
agree.
thing?
Yeah, it would be me, Elton John,
Patrick Stewart, Ben
Ian
Kingsley.
McKellen. Yeah.
So it's really just a bunch of musicians.
And the actors. Yeah, it's an awful idea, but it's in their laws. If you're knighted and they go to war, you are called upon to defend the queen.
Wow.
So that's like always in the back of my head. But
I bet.
But that's not who I am. I'm an oboist. And I love what I do. And once I found that, I stopped being nervous.
Boy, I didn't realize there was such a story to all of this. It seems like it's sort of a blessing and a curse, success, I guess. I mean, really kind of makes you second guess the aspirations, huh?
Well, Jim, your story is the most incredible of all of us.
Well, I
mean, to come from where you were, what you were, to where you are now, it's incredible.
Look, I appreciate that. I guess I just, spent so many years with, sort of feeling like a bit like a freak show.
Please. But you overcame. You're an inspiration to you're an inspiration to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I'll be honest. It's only in the last 5 or 6 years that when people see me on the street, they don't yell, "Hey, there's the wolf kid. There's the wolf kid." It's like people, up until then, I'd have people come up to me with, photos of me when I'd first, emerged from the woods as a little kid, just, basically naked, blood all over my face from the last kill that I'd made. And, and they'd make me sign those photos. And, that's just who I was for a long time. But I mean, that was just a matter of survival.
But not only to learn to socialize and to remember how to speak English and to become proficient in it, but then to become a classically trained musician on top of it.
Yeah, well, I felt like I had to make up for lost time. It wasn't easy, and I won't lie. There are still struggles like clothes.
Yeah, I noticed that you tend not to wear much, even at a concert. And you're not, no judgment from me.
I appreciate that. I got to tell you, it was a long fight. With the conductor to be able to wear what I felt was appropriate for me. Thus you see it. Thus you see my sort of tuxedo loincloth. Right.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, it's your the only reason I knew you were a wolf boy at all is your loincloth. And I think the only reason those rumors spread about you being a knight were because of the full suit of plate mail that you wear.
Some parts of being a knight I don't want to let go of.
That's fair.
Metal feels really good against your bare naked skin.
Oh, I didn't realize you were wearing nothing underneath the...
That sounds like it would pinch. There's going to be a pinch that happens there after a while.
You learn to move with it after a while. Okay, Roy and Andy, thank you both so much for joining the show and playing with us tonight. It was so much fun to play with you guys, to watch you play. Just a blast. And I'm a terrible person for saying your last names wrong, so I'm going to slap myself numerous times overnight.
Mike Carr, it's always a pleasure to do stuff with you.
Yeah, thank you. It's great meeting you, Roy, and actually, it's the first time playing with both of you, really. So thank you.
Yeah.
Wolf Boy's getting love from the chat. Wolf Boy deserves love.
She has to say that. She lives with me.
Oh God. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us, and everyone out in the chat. Thank you for being a part of the show. We're back next week. There's going to be some other changes coming to the show in future weeks. We're going to be doing a jam session, probably once a month. So past players, so Andy and Roy will be welcome back, and also players out in the audience or other players who haven't played who want to jump in and do a little bit of a thank you for coming jam. We're going to be working on that. So keep your eyes open for that. Other than that, thank you for coming.